Hey there, everybody. How's it going? I just turned 28, actually about 2 days ago. My birthday is on December 31st. So today, as of right now, I think it's it's 2nd, January 2nd. Just had kind of some thoughts about getting older that have really sort of stuck with me. When I was young, I used to love getting older, right? I love the idea when I was a little kid of just being older and thinking that when I hit my 20s or my 30s or whatever, like my life would just be awesome and it would be so much better. And I was wrong partially, but overall I actually was correct. When I got older, things do get better. You have more freedom, you have more flexibility, you have more time to do whatever it is that you want to do. But it's just, I almost want to say that like a lot of those, I hate to say like childlike awe or childlike wonder, but a lot of that stuff sort of does get lost with time, right? When you're new and you're young, you have all these new experiences. Every single time feels like, or every single day feels like something new because you've never done a lot of that stuff before. Whereas now as an adult, when I do something crazy, it doesn't have quite that same oomph. You know, it's not something that really truly catches me off guard. And it's not a bad thing, but it's just something that does change. Another thing that sort of changes when you get older is that you get a lot more confidence. And I'm sure that you've heard people say this, but as I've gotten older, I just feel okay because, again, I've been through more things. I enjoy, like, being out of my comfort zone a little bit, talking to people that I might normally not talk to. Nothing crazy, but, just if you see like a strange guy on the side of the road who looks like he, sets babies on fire, like, yeah, I might go talk to that dude and see what he's all about. Whereas before, I would be super scared to go talk to anybody. I'd be super scared to go around and, see other people and see what it is that they do. Another thing that's just kind of changed for me as I've grown older is that I've learned really how to judge people. And I know that may sound kind of negative, but really and truly, go into every relationship, every situation with an open mind. But also, it's okay to judge people and to see, hey, this person over here, if he doesn't do good with A and B, he's probably not going to do super great with C. Right? Or if these people from a certain culture, from a certain country, and this is the stereotype for them, maybe kind of take that to heart or think about it maybe a little bit when it is that you're talking to them. That doesn't necessarily mean that you treat anybody better or worse based on preconceived notions or your judgment, but keep those things in mind because they can really help you out, especially in terms of interpersonal relationships, right? It's like, for instance, if you're talking to a Korean person, right? And the notion might be that North Korea is a very touchy subject because, whatever. Maybe don't bring that up to them. Totally cool. I think that's totally valid and just a way, to learn like, hey, maybe kind of stereotype a little bit and see what would be okay to talk about, what wouldn't, what would be normal, blah, 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 blah. You get the point of it. The other thing that I think that I've kind of learned as I've gotten a little bit older is to sort of also see things from other people's angles. A big example of this, and I actually want to make a long form video on this because I find this topic very interesting, but a big example of this would be when I was young and I go to bars all the time. I mean, I still kind of go out to bars, but when I was a little bit younger, I would always think like, man, the women are out here to find a mate, right? They're out here to date. They're out here to, just find a guy and that's really what they're here for and blah, 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 blah. Well, as I've gotten older and as I go out to more bars, as I experience more things, I realize that that's not really true. And in fact, me as a guy going out with that stereotype to a lot of these bars or social gatherings in general, right? Or a lot of these places, and kind of having that preconceived notion is not accurate. And it kind of, makes not only them feel awkward if you're going up and trying to approach them and talk to them and, get their number or whatever, but it also kind of makes it bad for you because if that doesn't happen, then you almost look at the whole thing as a failure, right? You look at it as something that it's like a game that you didn't win at. So that's like a really big example. And I do want to touch on that topic more later, but that's just a really big example of a way that, yeah, people, I mean, things do, see it from their perspective. A lot of women are out there just to have fun. They're out there just with their friends. They're out there to experience the bar, the nightlife. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want you coming up to them and talking to them. And that kind of sucked for a little bit, but it was a hard lesson. And once I learned it, and once you start treating people like friends and like, just people there having a good time, your social life, at least my social life, has exponentially increased. Exponentially increased, gotten so much better. Another way that I think that growing older has just kind of, I don't know, just been better is I'm now starting to see, especially with people in my age group, reaping the benefits of things that they don't, of having good habits. An example would be I like to work out a lot. I love to go running in particular. I like to eat, relatively healthy. I mean, I just had a whole pizza and some chips, but whatever. Going out and working out, taking care of yourself, getting on dutasteride, as I said in my other video, to keep my long, lush lux of love going. And I look at a lot of other 28-year-olds or people roughly my age, in their early 30s or mid 20s, and they just look kind of bad. And it's not a genetic thing, not not whatever, but a lot of them just look really bad, or they have really bad teeth that they don't brush that much, or they're very overweight. And it's sort of sad to see, but then you also kind of look at the mirror and go, man, I'm doing all right for myself. So again, another way is if you start these good habits now, you really will reap the benefits later on. And again, I'm 20, I'm not even that old. However, I'm already starting to see a lot of those benefits. There's nothing else that super sticks out to me about this. Having my birthday on New Year's Eve is a lot of fun, but has a lot of drawbacks too. Yeah, I don't really know what else to talk about. I mean, I might post some pictures or something, but yeah, thanks for watching. Bye. Bunch of meaty sausage I had for my birthday. Yum yum. This was the mountain that I went to. It's called Opsan. Really nice, very cold. Downtown during New Year's Eve. Essentially what had happened is there were so many people downtown that the police actually had to kind of funnel people through different alleyways, and you'd have to stop and go. It was just like regular car traffic. But overall, that was kind of my New Year's Eve. That was, I don't feel like really putting too much else into this. So have a happy New Year.